This conference will now be recorded.
Okay guys, let's get started. So currently we have our architecture is like this. We have a LAN network, right? And then we have a few servers and computers, right? So we have domain controller, then we have database, right? And one Windows 10 computer. All of them are connected to this LAN network. And we have one SCCM PS primary site server. On this box, we have installed management point, distribution point, SMS provider. Okay, SMS provider. Then we have installed what? Service connection point, right? On this database, we installed reporting services point. Okay. Now the communication which is happening at the moment between this SCCM and domain, SCCM and database, and SCCM and client. So client is installed in each computer. Client here, SCCM client is installed. SCCM client is here installed here too. SCCM client is installed here too, and SCCM client is installed. Now the communication between the client and the server. Okay, how it is happening? It is happening on HTTP connection, and that is using port 80. Clear? So the communication between the SCCM client and the server is happening on that one. Then we also have Wsus server here. So client communication with Wsus, it's happening on HTTP, and that is using 8530. Got it? The client and the server is communicating on 8530. Now the client and the distribution points, the distribution point and the client, and this management point and the client, almost all are happening on HTTP port 80. Clear? Now suppose if you do not want HTTP connection, let's say that's not needed, you would like to change the connection from HTTP to HTTPS, you would like to go with the secured method. Okay, secured method means that needs certificate. So mostly we use HTTPS when you have computers communicating from outside. Okay, for example, you would like to make client and the server connection on HTTPS, and that needs 443. Clear? HTTPS 443. That's the port number. We need to have certificate on the client side, and we need to have certificate on the server side. So every computer will have to have a certificate. Clear, everyone? Then only the communication can be established between the server and the client. Otherwise, the client will not talk. Let's say a certificate is missing on Windows 10, the client will not talk to the server. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
So what we have to do, first thing first, okay, is we need to have a certificate authority. You know, who will issue the certificate? We need to have some authority who will be issuing the certificate. So we need to have certificate authority. So we can install the certificate authority here. CA, certificate authority. Who will be issuing the certificate to client? Who will be issuing the certificate to the server? to all the computers. Okay, so the domain controller will act as a certificate authority server who will be providing certificate to all the computers. Clear? So certificate authority has to be created. I mean that we need to install it on domain controller. Okay, once the certificate authority is created, then we will issue certificate to the server and the client. And how do you do that? Either you manually install the certificate to all the computers, right? To all the computers, or you can push it via group policy. Okay, so you can do it via group policy. From domain, you can push via group policy. So you need to push certificate to server and client. Okay, via group policy, so that all the computers will get the policy and the certificate will be given to all the computers. Then once the policy is applied and once the computer receives the certificate, then what we have to do, we need to change the connection. Change connection from HTTP to HTTPS. So previously the computers were talking to each other on HTTP, right? On port 80. So we will stop this one. We will say no, don't use this port. Rather we use HTTPS 443. So the communication will then start happening on HTTPS. The client and the server will keep on talking to the server with HTTPS connection. Understood, Ashwini and everyone?
Yes. Yes.
And similarly, if you would like to change the communication for WSUS, so currently WSUS is using 8530, so you can also communicate on 8531, and that uses HTTPS. This is for WSUS, guys. Okay.
Here, we are using internal certificate, not like the third party, is it right? Internal.
We use internal. Yes. Okay, we don't use a third-party certificate. That is not supported. Clear?
So, like internal, do we need this type of security?
Suppose you are managing devices on the internet. Let's say,
yeah. Now I got it.
My personal laptop, okay, and I would like to, connect, it's a laptop, right? Office laptop, and I am not in the office. I am outside the office, and I am also not connected on VPN. I am on the internet. So what will happen over the internet? It will be able to communicate to the server. Okay.
Yeah.
So
now I remember.
Okay, so how that happens, I'll show you. We have okay, this kind of architecture. We have a domain. We have database here. Okay, and this is management point internal management point, which is using HTTP port 80. Clear? So all the intranet computers, that means all the internal, let's say there are 5,000 internal computers, all the computers which are on the network, plus all the computers which are on in premises, all the computers which are on VPN, all will be communicating, all these 5,000 computers will be communicating to this internal management point on port 80. Clear? Clear or not?
Yeah.
Now we have one MP, and that is external MP management point. So we will have one server outside your firewall in DMZ domain, which will be exposed to the internet. This one will not be exposed to the internet, but this one is going to be exposed to the internet world. So this one will have external MP and external DP, and one server will have software update point, and all of them will be external. Okay, now let's say this is a server, and with that server contains all these roles. There are 3 roles: DP, MP, and software update point. Now this server will have an IP address, right? Public IP address. Let's say public IP address of this server is what? Is 10.1.1.1. For example, this is the public IP address. And you need to purchase a domain. Let's say, what domain? Let's say Godrej.com. That's your Godrej.com. That's your domain. Okay. So what you do, you have to create this server. Let's say the server name is mp.godrej.com. This is your public it should be publicly available. If anyone pings this mp.godrej.com from outside, it should resolve to this IP. So basically you have to register this into your public DNS, like in GoDaddy or domain registrar or wherever it is. So once this server has the public IP and this publicly available it is registered in public DNS, what will happen? The computers from outside, those computers on the different network altogether, that is not on premises, that computer not on the VPN, that computer not connected to any office network, it is completely on the internet. So those computers will communicate via this one, via this server. So they will be able to communicate to this management point to get the policy. They will be able to get distribution, the content from this distribution point. They will be able to get patches from software update point. So all those computers, let's say there are outside computers will be less, right? Currently now, due to this COVID-19, most of the computers are outside, but in general, suppose if before like 6 months, mostly like, let's say 400 or 500 computers communicating from outside internet. So they all will communicate to this one, because this server will not be pingable from there, right? The server, this will be not available for them, but this will be publicly available, so that these 400 computers can talk to this one and get the policy and content. So that's the reason we need HTTPS connection, so that computers should have certificate. All computers should have certificate, and if the computer has certificate, then only the connection can be established between the server and the client, otherwise it won't. Understood, guys?
Yeah. Sir, like this Skype and all, can I do packaging from Intune and publish to the mobile?
Yes, you can do that.
So the same SCCM package will not work, means I need to compile again from Intune.
Yes, you have to do through Intune. Wait. Internet facing HTTP DMZ, and this is internet based management point and intranet. Perfect. I think I can show you this example, which Not sure whether you guys are able to see it properly. Are you guys able to see it properly?
Yes.
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 So let me take copy image and MS Paint. Now, as you see here, we have intranet, right? This is your, I can't type in here. This is your intranet, right? And you have a SCCM SMS provider and SCCM proxy here. So the intranet computers will be talking to this intranet, but those computers which are on internet, like for example this Mac client, right? So they will be talking to this HTTPS management point, as you see, internet-based management point, right? So this one SCCM management point and this one SCCM distribution point, they will be able to get the management. This management point will send the policy, and this distribution point will send the content to this computer. Okay, so that will be HTTPS connection, and rest all will be HTTP connection. That will be the intranet one will be on the port 80, and the internet will be on port 443. Understood? Clear or not?
Yes. Yes.
So that is how it has. So basically, you need to purchase a domain first, okay, for IBCM, okay, and then once you purchase the domain, then you need to register that domain into public DNS, and that should resolve an IP address. Okay, and once it resolves the IP address, then you will be able to communicate the computer from outside. Let me check if I have some other distribution point and primary site management point, fallback status point. Primary site management point configuration, cloud management gateway. No, I am not looking for that one. Okay, HQ headquarter DP SUP, branch VPN, data center, and yeah, this is for cloud management gateway. So basically, DMC domain. Yes, yeah, this is also a very good example. As you see, the work network. So this one, work network. It shows work network. That means all the computers will be talking to this primary side, management point, distribution point, in this one, in the intranet. And those which are outside on the internet world, they will be talking to this management point, the internet management point. So I hope you understood the concept, right, everyone?
Yes.
So there are methods to create step by step. If you want, I can send you the documents and then you can go through that. But you have to purchase domain, Ashwini, for IBCM. You need to purchase domain, and then
Okay.
once you purchase the domain, then you have to register that domain into the public DNS, and then you can do it. I have done this for Godrej. Let me just ping that one. I think it was mp.godrej.com. Yes. This is the external IP address of this guy. Yes. This request timed out. Okay. Looks like some issue, but it is registered in the public DNS. Maybe they changed the name or something. Okay, guys. So I just wanted you guys to just go through that Intune again and practice. And in case if you have any issues or challenges, you let me know. Okay. Next week, I'm gonna show you the troubleshooting, client-side troubleshooting and server-side troubleshooting, the common issues and solution. Understood?
Yeah.
Any question, anything from your end, guys, so far? All good?
Generally, like when we talk about interviews, what are your focus point? Like generally, what type of questions they will ask? Mostly related with how to trace out the log files or
Yeah.
anything.
Mostly they are looking for a log analysis plus architecture level. If they suppose if you have to deploy an application, right? So what all things happen in the back end? So they need to know the overview, right, from the high level diagram. What you do, you download application, then you upload it to SCCM, then you distribute to the distribution point. So they need to know the steps how you do it through that one. So plus the log analysis. So in case something goes wrong during deployment, let's say 100 computers got the deployment, another did not get the deployment. So what will you do? What will you check? The boundary, you will check the site assignment, you will check the log file, and how will you find out the issues and all. So focus on logs, and client side log. Server side log is not that much needed because that is only needed when you are working on SCCM level 3 or level 2 team. For first level, client side mostly they will ask. Got it?
Okay.
Log file and architecture. How the secondary side communicate, how the database replicate between secondary side and primary side. Do we need a database on secondary or not? How many systems we can manage through secondary? What all roles of secondary side and all? So for that, you have to go through the article which I sent earlier. You remember?
Yeah.
Initially, I sent. So go through that one. So that will give you, and for log file, I'll send you, you go here, SCCM logs, and the first link. So this website contains a client-side log and the server-side log. As you see, client file log. So it gives you all information: CAS log, BitLocker, like SCCM exec log, right? Then you have app. Yeah, all these logs are client-side logs. Then client installation log, CCM setup, client for Linux, Unix. Let's leave it as it is. Then server-side logs, AD discovery, AD service log, security group discovery, system discovery, user discovery. Got it? It gives the description as well at the right-hand side.
Generally, they ask question associated with reports as well. Like you showed us how to join two tables and filter it out, and based on that, you created reports. T joined, tables joining.
Yeah, they it depends if they want you to manage reports as well. Mostly those kind of requirement basically are basically we ask database team to fulfill those requirements. But if
And
yeah,
like patching, most of the time they ask question associated with patching. Like this is very important for SCCM administrator. So when we talk say patch, so we will decide which patch will go to my environment, or it should be security group which will standardize the patch for us.
basically in companies, if it is a big company, mostly what happens, the security team, we have IT security team or the compliance team. What they will do, they will define, or they will read all the patch related uh, articles, and then they will send us the list of patches which are applicable to be deployed. But then we will have to analyze whether those patches are applicable or not. Understood? But they will just
Okay.
generally give us the list of patches which are available and should be deployed as quickly as possible, or whatever the time frame.
Okay.
You see, software update log file. Okay, software update log file. The first thing first, when we synchronize, right? This file records the information about the soft synchronization process at the server side. Okay, then this shows you the software update and WSUS, right? The subscription details and all, server side. Then WCTR records information about the configuration, database connectivity. Okay, configuration, database connectivity, and health of the WSUS server machine. Now the client side records information about searching for updates. Then update deploy records information about the deployment, evaluation, and enforcement of the client. Then update handler records information about the compliance scanning and download and installation of updates. Okay, software distribution. It basically contains information about the software updates and synchronizes from the updates and the WSUS database. So this is basically, you need to check it here on the server side. Then update store on the client side, which records information about the compliance update and scanned part and all. So these are, if you know these things, it will be easier for you to troubleshoot, which log you have to check.
Like 3 years back, I was in contact with SCCM administrator. Like the guy was saying, he has a script that is a standard PowerShell script. He will little bit manipulate and he will execute from remote. and all the roles would get installed on the particular server as per tier design. So is it possible like we can do all those like all the roles and installation of SCCM server? It will install automatically from PowerShell. He will do customize based on the client requirement. So is it possible like from PowerShell we can automate entire installation?
Role, what role? The server role or the SCCM role?
SCCM roles.
Management point and
yeah, management point. Like he will little bit customize that standard PowerShell, and he will
Yes,
execute from the.
you can do that. That I showed you already, right? You can choose this connect via Windows PowerShell, right?
Yeah, PowerShell means we can entirely installation, everything will be done by PowerShell only.
The first, no. The first
No?
one, the primary site installation, has to be done through GUI. You can't use PowerShell. The first one, the primary site. Once you have the primary site, then you can use the command prompt to do the role installation or do whatever you can want to do. You can do it through here, from here.
Okay.
Okay. SCCM site role installation using PowerShell. Okay, you see there it gives you the install SCCM distribution point using PowerShell script. So you have options. So what is the option here? 3-letter site code and then version and then import module SCCM admin PS and then site code is India, distribution point name is this, and then new system site server name distribution point site code, and this is the enable feature IIS. Okay, that is optional. Web host distribution point, then okay, so this is the script for installation of, you see, you open this one, PowerShell, right? And in PowerShell then you use this command, and then the distribution point will be installed on that box, which is whatever the box you give.
Sir, I've seen your box also in Microsoft where you uploaded some PowerShell script for SCCM. And Kasif, sir, I've seen your photo as well over there. I'm not remembering, but it was on Microsoft URL, like SCCM installation by PowerShell.
Okay, yeah, but that is not the SCCM installation. That is the, suppose if you would like to install some of the roles, let's say the server role, right? Before SCCM installation, you go to server manager and you do like manage and add roles and features, right? And you have to install multiple roles and features. So this thing you can do it through PowerShell as well.
Okay.
So instead of going through this GUI. The first installation, the primary site installation, you have to do it through the GUI itself. Let's say if somebody has written SCCM primary site installation using PowerShell. I don't think so. How to install primary site server and prerequisite? Do we have? How to install primary site server and prerequisite using command line PowerShell. Okay, this is for the prerequisites. Okay, like ADK.
Yeah, I think for prerequisites only. Yeah, that's true.
Prerequisite 0 site name. Create an unintended setup.ini configuration file. Okay, so we can also create. Okay, so this guy has given some information. Let's see. Download. Okay, so this is the prerequisite. Okay, then create unattended setup.ini for config manager. The setup executable for config setup input. Okay, following example, the minimal setup required input parameter. Install primary site. Okay, so this you can use. You need to save that in the source file. That is .ini file you have to set. you have to save, and then you need to use management point. You need to use the setup executive command support .ini file. The following setup. You need to use the command prompt. Okay, call this setup.ini file. So you might need to modify the parameter environment. You need to have a valid product code. Evaluation version does not support okay, so evaluation version does not support the unattended installation, unfortunately. You need to have a valid product code. Got it?
Yeah.
Here. Okay, so that you can do, but from command prompt. And these are the feature which you can use, do it through PowerShell, like extend AD, install. Yeah. Okay. Any other question, guys? Anyone? Arif, you have any question?
No, Raj.
Pratyush, Ashwini?
Nothing from my side.
Okay. So if you want to practice, okay, on SCCM box, I can give you my server login details. You know, you can log in and practice for at least like 1 week. If you want, I can send that to you. If you
Yes,
guys are
sir.
interested.
Send me.
Okay.
Yes,
Anything else?
please
You
send.
guys have any question before we wrap it up? Okay, guys, we'll meet next week. So we are done with almost all the topics except the troubleshooting part, the server side and the client side troubleshooting, which we will do. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.